time.
Or a book written by like a really meticulously prepared man who really thought of a lot of stuff.
Yeah, who knew that even things in the future that now we are coming to know, he knew that already.
What's an example? I've never read the Quran, I'll confess. I mean, like, what's an example of that? Something that it predicted about the future? You just said the Quran has,
Okay.
Something that predicted
For
about the
example,
future was born
for
out.
example, the universe is created and it says it's being expanded.
Right, but that was knowable before. That's something that people knew before whoever wrote the Quran, right?
I don't know.
Like for example, they believe in a static universe.
We only knew that in the past 100 years.
Okay.
I think. Past 200 years, maybe.
Now we know from what? When
It does
we
say
know,
that's okay.
in the most reasonable understanding of science, we know that these are stars receding from each other. We're saying yes. So you say this is just a coincidence? Maybe.
Yeah, one thing, right?
One thing, right? But you know, when we apply mathematics and statistics, there's a limit to probability. If we find 20 examples, and to get all of them right, the probability is 1 in a million. Can I? Yeah, 1 million or something roughly.
Well, but to say the universe is expanding, the probability of getting that right is 1 in 3. Do you say it's expanding or it's shrinking or it's the same? The probability is 1 in 3 of getting that right.
No, this is half, right? 1 in 2. But I'm saying if you have 20 examples, to get them all of them right and not get any of them wrong, your probability is like 1 in a million. 1 chance of getting it right, million chance of getting it wrong. You can do the maths. 1 example is half, right? 1 over 2. 2 examples, half times half. 1 over 4.
You give it
20 examples is 1 in a million. Exactly. Quran talks about this kind of things more than 20 examples. More than 20.
What's another one?
No. I'm saying even if I were to give you an example, but at the end, if you found that the Quran has more than 20 examples, the probabilities are getting less and less in terms of this is just coincidence. Mathematics will say something fishy going on. It doesn't sound like someone is just doing the guesswork. You will eliminate the role of guesswork there. Yeah?
I don't think you eliminate it. It's possible there was somebody who would predict.
No, you will say it is less probable.
Sure, it becomes less probable.
That's what I'm saying. So when we examine the Quran itself, we find various examples, then the confidence level increases in one way, and the probability of just coincidence in the other way.
But there's still a certain faith you have to take to follow the Quran. You're saying we view this as the most probable, so we're willing to ignore the other what we view as less probable.
I'm saying, I just give you some examples.
It does say things like the universe was created in 6 days. This idea that all the science in the Quran is correct is very debatable.
Is it?
That sounds more right.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So now, let me take your example, because you are only speaking half the example that you said. In the Quran, a day in the sight of God is how long? Go ahead. No. Let me show you an example.
I know it says it like maybe 1,000 years.
Ah, so now you're giving the
1,000
context.
years, though, is
No.
not-
1,000 or even 50,000. So that means it's relative. So you should have said, when the Quran says 6 days, it could mean 6 periods of time, because the word ayyam also means a period of time.
I don't want to get
Come into the discussion, but I want you to be very clear in your example, because you didn't give the full truth. The full truth.
I heard guys, you were telling them that the Quran has all these 20 examples and they're all perfectly right. And I could see them say, oh well, 20 examples, yeah. I don't know
If that's true, it's not all
but
true.
actually, I'm just giving the sort of footage.
Yeah. So you're
So if we say,
not debatable.
if everyone believes that the universe was created in 6 days, and he says 6 days, that's just 6 periods of 2 billion years or whatever.
So this is where I say you're only giving half the truth.
Yes, but
The other half.
6 ayams, which you're saying could be any.
No, I said not could be. The language, Arabic language itself gives you the meaning of the days in plural form, not a day. Means a period of time. So
Unspecified period.
So when then the Quran, when the Quran then explains in at least minimum 2 other cases where a day could be 1,000 years or 50,000 years of a reckoning, then you were hiding the truth. The other half.
Even if it was 50,000 years, that's still not enough. 50,000 years times 6 is still not enough.
What you didn't understand is this. the example says a day could be 1,000 years in one context, it could be 50,000 years in another context. So because the period of time is not specified, so it's a concept called a relative term. So a day is a relative term which could be any period of time. So it's a 6 period of time. So now, what that period is, the Quran hasn't specified. It only says 6 periods. You come along and say 6 days, that was the error. So that's one example where analyzed properly, it falls apart from being an error. Another example. It's better to find examples where people think it's an error rather than giving you examples which things to be amazing science. Do you agree?
Or it's
Yeah, it doesn't help.
There's quite a lot of things like that, and I'm sure.
No, I want to give you another example. Do you want to agree?
One, yeah.
Rather than giving
Your
you
examples are coming to us without actually having read the text itself.
I can show you.
They're coming filtered through where it is.
I'll take your word for it.
No.
That's fair. That's fair. Check it.
There's a lot of very good stuff about science.
You should never accept just words from people's mouths. That actually defeats the purpose. So it's good. Check it.
Okay, so let me give you red letter corresponds to what Jesus says. Surah.
It's definitely though, because I've seen some billboard that was like,
I can't read that.
No, I'm going to give you in Arabic, English, sorry.
You believe in the Quran, don't you?
There's the text. Trust us now. No, show you the
now
English.
you've seen it, yeah.
Now you've seen it.
I really thought that's what he was going to do. I was like, oh, I don't know.
No,
Maybe it says what you said.
He's going to show it to you in English.
This is Surah Al-Khair, 69. Not 50 years later, his witnesses split with him to go to the recorded later. Sorry, let me it's giving me additional marriage. This one, Surah number 70, right? So this is where it starts. Look, there's English translation in it, right?
Okay.
What we call Christians. I also come to the Surah, still from 69. Let's go into 70. Okay. So,
According to you.
the angels of the Spirit ascend to him on a day whose length is 50,000 years. Okay? In a day whose length. So you have a day.
Like that's equal to 50,000 years.
So you have another example elsewhere which talks about 1,000 years. So this example demonstrates a day is a relative term. Could be 1,000, 50, or
Word in Arabic.
Yep.
6 periods of time, whatever they are, it still doesn't make sense.
Hang on. Do we know how long the universe was created for in what steps? Our science hasn't given us a conclusive way of it. So you can't say it's a scientific error. You can only say science is totally not going to tell you anything about it. It has to remain silent because science doesn't have anything to say. So to come and say there's something, an error or something from science, it's really not really unfair. So another example will suffice. So do you agree in principle?
You didn't intend to get yourself in this discussion.
Do you agree? Instead of me giving you examples of what I think is a scientific amazing miracle, whatever, example which actually refutes, like the example you're trying to do, would be nice to discuss. Oh, there's supposed to be there's like scientific error in there, right? So please give me another example.
How does that make sense?
Just to help these guys out, but the things like says he made the earth before he made the heavens. I'm sure he'll come and say when he says before, he really meant afterwards. When he says
Don't assume anything.
really meant
Don't assume anything. So you just made. Finish give me your evidence for what you say, and then I'll give you my reasons why you're wrong.
I don't want to get dragged into a long. But
You are
No, really dragged, man. Okay, so then
Too late.
Okay. Let's make it fair for him. Let's make it fair for you if you wish. Give your argument, and then it's up to you if you wish to leave.
Okay. Just so you know, there's lots of things that are a bit odd in the like.
Can
the
we
6
discuss that
days.
example?
Okay. 6
Second
days.
example.
Okay. If
What
you
was
want
it?
to explain
The
it,
earth and
earth
the
made
universe.
before the
Okay,
heavens.
where does it say that?
Do you want me to?
Yeah. So that we
Because
understand what you're
that's
saying.
where the claim comes from, right? Let's analyze your evidence, and I'll demonstrate to you your evidence is faulty.
If these are like real old chestnut sort of arguments. Do you want to give me a
Because I've seen it before, had it before. That's what I'm saying.
unfortunately, there's a lot of false arguments that are brought to the Quran, and then obviously the brothers dealt with it many times. You know what I mean? So obviously we know what it is, but it's not a problem. This is what it's about, to learn. You get what I mean?
Check the content.
Check the content. Yeah.
What the Quran, if the Quran said the universe was made over billions and billions of years, and there's billions of these stars, they're actually galaxies. It could explain accurately how the universe was created.
It has explained, but your science is not good enough yet to tell you how it is, right? So now,
I don't know about that.
I will tell him that, because what he's claiming something which he cannot claim by science.
Yeah.
So
What's
the example,
argument?
second example.
Creation there in a very poetic way. Or it's sort of it's basically.
I think it would be
it's
better
like
if you go
the
to the
Bible.
evidence
It's like,
rather than interpretation.
Should we see what
Should
the
we see
evidence is? Where is it? Which verse are you actually referring to, so we can analyze it?
You made
I
a claim.
can Google it.
Do Google
Okay,
it.
doesn't
I have
sound-
time.
okay, fine.
Don't
If
worry.
you wish to leave,
We've
it's
been
up to
standing
you,
here
mate.
quite some
So,
time.
yeah, guys.
Stand up.
But this is so boring for them. Google where it is.
Please Google it. I'm sure you'll find lots of atheist sites which uses this verse.
I pray to thee.
I'm trying to find the
Human
verse
beings
in the
are also
Quran.
equal in
Take your time. No worries.
But temporarily there are different arrangements. You might be the.
Shall we do 3 so to make a good number to see how the claims are substantiable or not? So this is a second.
And can I just again repeat? I'm not coming along saying, oh, there's this scientific error, this disproves the
No, you're
Quran.
not, you're not.
I'm
We
just
agree.
trying
You're
to
not
say it's not
Understood.
The science in the Quran doesn't prove the Quran, doesn't prove the Quran. Where the heaven is.
We don't say that anyway. Science is very relative. We're changing science every day. Science is not the yardstick to prove the Quran.
Correct.
By the way, the Arabs used to call day.
What
They have
is?
the Ayyam al-Arab, the days of the
Here's my
Arab.
yardstick.
And
Yeah,
that
wait,
means
yeah, science is
the
my
days
yardstick.
when a war happened or
No, wait,
something.
science is
Yeah,
my
yes.
yardstick.
By the
they-
name, by names, by.
Day is not like what we have now in Arab language.
That's right. It wasn't 24
That
hours.
is not 24 hours. Even still,
Outside science. Science didn't tell you to be philanthropic. It was your morality from something else.
Well, yeah, science isn't morality. Yeah,
Science
different
is
things.
When you say science was your yardstick,
There's
science
different
wasn't your
things.
yardstick for your life's affairs and your conducting your fair life. It was your morality based on other than science. So science wasn't your yardstick.
Both things are. They're different things. Like it's not. They're not.
He did demonstrate it
They're
elsewhere.
not self-exclusionary.
Science and evolution and your morality conflicted, but you went with morality because
Sure.
yeah.
But you can still use
still-
science.
yeah.
You can still look for scientific evidence of
Yeah.
No, of
the
course.
Quran being true,
No, of course.
while being governed by morality.
Yeah.
Science can be used, and Islam never considered science to be something against Islam. There were twin sisters like that. Science was actually, in a way, flourishing and developed
Yeah.
within the Islamic
yeah,
periods, right?
Yeah. Back then, yeah.
there's always that
What was that in the
falsification.
middle in Dark Ages?
There was no Dark Ages in
No, yeah, when
Islamic-
Europe was fucked in the Dark Ages, like they were killing them.
Don't swear, man.
In a good way, in a good way. Killing in a good way. Like, doing good.
It's been recorded and children may be watching it, so let's continue in a nice way that we discuss it.
See, this is them having a good anti-guilty section first class I mean, there's several.
Do you have to go?
No rush, but yeah.
No rush.
Take it.
No, I'm not. If you feel that I'm holding you,
No,
no,
never
yeah,
feel you're
yeah.
older. We're participating voluntarily.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
I'm sure that
Free
you
exchange
know
of
the
ideas.
passage, you could find it quicker than me.
Is it the creation of universe you're looking for or what?
no. He's looking for something like okay.
Is that
Tell me. I'll find.
We can help you.
Find an example and see. Tell me whether this is the right one, right?
Okay, there's one where it says like on the first 2 days you did this, on the second, the third and fourth day you did that, on the fifth and then on the fourth and sixth day.
This is.
Have you got a verse?
Down.
Here.
What? Yeah.
Your Lord has created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, then established himself on the throne, governing everything. There is none that can intercede with him, unless he has first given permission. This is right. So,
And the Holy Spirit.
let me see.
What was the argument, Bish? What was it?
Or
Say
you're
the
looking
earth was
for-
created before.
No, not this one.
I'm not sure. He's referring to some passage of the Quran that I don't know.
Jesus
Let's have a look. I believe he's actually, as I said, I think he's referring to a Bible.
Oh, a Bible verse, okay.
In the Bible.
Okay.
That's what it's
In the Bible, there's a verse that says, I think something along the lines where the earth was created
This
first.
is one of these elements.
And then the
No,
heavens.
vegetation was created first, and then the sun. We would say, what? Because photosynthesis.
Yeah.
So we're on that level. But there's nowhere nothing like that. Because we would technically question that as well. It wouldn't make sense. And I would question it personally with you guys. Like, oh, if that was in the Quran, I'd be along with you. Oh, okay, this doesn't make sense. Without the sun, how do you get photosynthesis? How do you get vegetation? That's
Okay, now
I think it's confusing.
yeah, I think.
Okay, maybe. I wouldn't know.
No, in the Quran, there's no such a verse.
I have seen though before I've been driving and I saw a billboard that said, if God is proven mathematically, and I read the website and they have a bunch of, things.
Just the actual text, though.
Yeah.
Not like English or not.
So I mean, some of the things I thought were like, somewhat, like the thing of the universe growing, I think is one that was in there. And like, but there's other things where it's like, it says the word day 365 times,
It does though.
But what does that mean?
No. You're right. Alone, you're correct. Listen, let's be logical.
I could write a book and
You're
make
right.
it say day and year,
Watch this. You're correct that the word day arriving in the Quran 365 times could just be random. Fair?
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying?
Or it could be intentional
We're not,
by whoever wrote it.
Fair. At the time we didn't have 365. Anyway, my point is this, The point is this: if you're right, we're not stupid.
Okay, we found it. We found the verse that he wanted to show.
It's with a whole bunch of other stuff. Then we're not silly. We're not like, whoa, this is my one thing.
Yeah.
But let's have a look.
So
No,
now,
that was like one thing on the list that I read.
Go ahead.
so now, in your own words, please read.
Don't try and set it up as a failure, I mean,
You don't know what I'm going to say.
these guys out.
I'm saying, in your own words, please read the text and then interpret what you understand, and then make your claim that this verse demonstrates that what you're claiming to claim.
Yeah, it's fair.
No. What I'm not claiming is that I can disprove the Quran.
That's not what we're discussing, though.
All I'm saying is that when you were telling these guys, it's amazing, there's all these scientific facts in the Quran, I was helping them out by telling them that's not really true, or it's very debatable.
I never said there were scientific amazing facts. I simply said statistically there are things that now. No. You see, you're coming from anti-Bukailism. Bukailism is a feature of like Maurice Bukai came in the 90s or something, I don't know, and he said, okay, the Quran has all these amazing things, and Muslims started talking about it, right? Science in the Quran. Anti-Bukailism is the opposite to that, where saying no, it's not. I only said there are things which we understand things better now, compared to 1400 years ago how the knowledge would have been. I didn't say scientific facts and so on. This is not my discussion. Okay, so please go ahead.
I do have to say, as long as it was rational religion and all of them, then I talk to anybody. You talk to a Christian person about this stuff, it's just nonsense. It's just idiots.
Can we listen to you? Please read and explain.
Do you watch us on Yes. Which channel do you watch?
The other one.
SCDawah?
I'm SCDawah. Let's listen.
Yes, which one is it, brother?
I believe this day is just a normal word for day, and it's understood as day, and it fitted with Genesis,
Right, but then in context-
which all the people believe. So everyone thought when he said 2 days, they took that to mean 2 days. It's like if you say, I'll pay you back in 2 days, and then I said, well, when I said day, I actually meant billion years. It's kind of ambiguous.
Yeah. So you're now contextualizing from another culture, another norm. Carry on.
That's no argument.
Carry on. The argument that you're now, can you please put it forward?
Right, so it says, did you believe they created the earth in 2 days? Well, that's not an amazing scientific fact.
You see, can I stop there with all fairness?
Yeah.
You are demonstrating an example that the earth is created before the heavens. Not about this is amazing or not amazing. So this is called smokescreen to make something more what? Unclear. To make it clear, don't go to anything else. Go direct into the verse, read it, and then interpret it and say, this demonstrates the earth is created before the heavens. That's all.
then he said, then he placed on there, firmly set mountains over its earth, and he blessed it and determined its creatures' sustenance in 4 days. And then after these 4 days, he then directed, then this is how it's translated in English, then he directed himself to the heavens while it was smoke, and he said to it and to the earth, come into being willingly or by compulsion, and they've come willingly.
Yeah. So now tell me what you're claiming from there.
What I'm claiming from this is that when you told these guys that they're all these scientific statements in the Quran that have been proven
That's
true,
what you're claiming.
that is what you said.
No, that's not what you're claiming.
Of them,
No,
and
please.
it's impossible that you were all
With
wrong.
all
and therefore
fairness,
that would be a
with
reason
all
for them
fairness,
to believe.
you keep on doing this smoke screen. You are claiming the earth was created before the heavens. I am making it black and white, and you are failing to even utter that statement, which is your claim. So I want you to make this claim from there, that this demonstrates the earth is created before the heavens. Rather than 20 examples, you're telling these friends and scientific... No, that's what you're claiming. You are claiming the earth is created before the heavens. Go ahead. So, which verse establishes that?
I got it. It's Fussilat.
No, we've got it. We found it.
He's found the one that's
Do you want is that the Arabic? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, you can explain. In English, he said, then he directed himself to the heavens.
Can I read it?
You can read it.
So that would be an example.
It's going to change the meaning of the word.
Okay. So now I'll show you where your interpretation is wrong and faulty.
No difference. I know. I don't know what.
It's not fine. I want to show you where you're wrong.
Yeah, go ahead, but
What do you mean going ahead? You have assumed a inherent contradiction within it, or within science. Your assumption needs to be examined. Do you agree?
can we take the temperature down a little bit? You're trying to force me. I know that there's a way you can reread that so that then actually doesn't mean then, you know. But what I'm just...
He's now going to do his own rebuttal.
You're the one that badgered me into finding this verse.
No.
So I found the verse for you.
Do we have the right to examine your assumptions?
Danny, you
Can I ask you kindly?
and you can explain
No, can I
how
ask you now,
understand
in
the
here,
behind
do we have the right to examine your assumption, where your assumption is correct, that there is a mistake in it? Are you going to be generous enough to let us explain it?
I didn't say there was a mistake. I was saying it's not amazingly accurate in the way that you were trying to tell these young men.
Interpretation required to get to the
no,
amazing accuracy
no,
is what he's saying.
No, remember, I never said this is amazingly accurate. That wasn't my claim.
Not your words, but that's paraphrasing.
No.
You said
Did I?
1 in a million chance.
Did I bring this example?
There's like futuristic predictions.
Wait.
Yeah.
This example wasn't even mentioned.
Did I mention this example?
No, but
Right.
in general, like
So-
your claim was that there's like scientific
So this
things and futuristic
no,
predictions.
you see, look.
You said there was a 1 in a million chance. This is not the point.
Listen. So this example here was an example to demonstrate that some things are not accurate, right? Did you not say that? Not amazingly accurate.
You didn't say amazingly
No.
accurate, but
The
paraphrase.
gentleman said.
Can I?
A lot of kids they are watching
You
that.
said it's a 1 in a million chance for all
He's
these
heard
different
that, he's
signs.
heard that.
Which
And
one?
that's-
He got kids
You
as well.
said 1 in a
Which
million
example?
With no purpose, with no
You only
purpose.
gave one, yeah.
These
Wait.
kids, they have
Which examples I was going to give? This one?
I know.
You only gave one. It was the Earth expanding, the
And
universe
you said there are
expanding.
20 examples of things in the Quran that, completely correspond to modern science, and they wouldn't have been able to know, and that would be a 1 in a million chance. I saw them say, wow, 1 in a
Right.
million chance, that's amazing.
Do you follow? Do you follow what this gentleman is talking about? Do you follow?
I follow him. What he's saying is that
he's saying?
to get to all these different accuracies that you're saying that their Quran predicted, you have to, there's like massaging of the language and
Generous
interpretation
interpretation.
that's required to get there.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let me respond to that then.
Yeah, sure.
Good. The reason why you're wrong is this: the language itself gives you the meaning within the context. I cannot say Quran talks about electrons because it doesn't. Because there is no word in the Quran which is describing electrons, because that concept wasn't even known as electrons. It's a modern term. So I have to be within the boundary of my language and how much I can explain what it means. Here, First of all, I did not say the 20 examples, this is one of my examples, it could have been. I'm simply saying, if we were to give you 20 examples, and statistically speaking, then our chances of getting it by chance gets lower and lower in a million. The gentleman here, what's his name? Andy came along and said, what? I'm going to give you an example which is not amazingly accurate. Right?
I don't want to interrupt.
Okay. You come along with an example to demonstrate what? That we do gymnastics with language? I haven't given you an example of gymnastics with language. I simply gave you one example about saying the expansion. This, you brought it up. Obviously, in your mind, you have an understanding, an assumption that it is incorrect. That's what you said, which is amazingly not correct. Now, what's so incorrect about it? Let me tell you that there's nothing incorrect about it. It says, after creating this, then he turned to the heavens when he was smoke, and then he made the heavens into 7 heavens. So did the heavens exist? The answer is obviously yes. He turned to the heavens when it was in a particular form. So the heavens was already there. So was it there after the universe? The earth? Or before the earth? Because your claim was, your claim was the earth was first created, then the creation of, brother, your assumption was, the first person says the earth was created first, then the heavens or the skies and galaxies were created later. But this doesn't say that. It simply says the heavens are already in existence, but they were then transformed into other forms. So you had your assumption which was faulty to begin with. Heavens were already there. It was already there. Read it again.
Do I have to say anything more, or have you got the point?
No.
You claim 1 in a million changes. Don't you have to say that? It has to be very specific.
Okay. Do you agree that when he says, and then he turned to the heavens when he was smoke, and then said, come, and then was the heavens already there? That's what the verse says.
If you go by the evidence, if you're calling something, it's there. If you're calling something,
If you go by the evidence, that's what it
God
says.
called them, and it's there. If you're calling, it's there.
Then he
Are you
turned to
calling
the
the
heavens,
ghost?
which was in this form, so it was already there.
Yeah, copies there.
You have
I'm
to
missing a larger point of that, the
examine
significance
your
of that.
I think you weren't listening.
You will see.
He was on a phone call.
Brother.
Sorry, brother.
Second example turned out to be faulty, the assumptions. And this is what we do here in Speaker's Corner, you'll be surprised. People come up with these assumptions that Quran is wrong here, wrong there, and upon examining it properly, deeply,
Regular with the sperm line.
You've got one. Well, the Quran says that sperm comes from between the backbone and the roots.
where does it say
It
that?
says that. That's the verse.
Yeah, read it.
Created from a drop emitted, proceeding from between
I
the
probably have a
backbone
2-hour video on this on
Do you know how
Speaker's
many
Corner.
times he's answered this?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you know the verse, it's fine. I'll just read the verse to you.
So, what makes you think? No, not gymnastics. Again, you see? Do you see how he tries to say, Muslims have an answer?
Yeah, you're being quite unfair, mate. You haven't even heard what he's been
Either
saying
they
yet.
waffle away the mistake or they have a genuine response. Which one? Is there a genuine response and then your argument breaks apart, falls down?
I don't think we have to keep talking. I think I've made the point that.
No, you haven't made any points yet so far. Is there a mistake in here or Muslims just simply waffle away the mistake and don't admit it?
That's right.
Yeah? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I say.
Okay. Let's examine this third example.
Quran also says that meteor was a rocket sent by jinns. Demons.
You know what? You can bring all these examples. Let's do them one by one. So this one, I'm sorry to Tariq.
You can carry on with the
No,
conversation.
I'm going to show you where you're wrong. Your assumptions are wrong. I am not going to let your assumptions, which are wrong, take over you. I'm going to show you where it is wrong. You need to examine the Quran again.
I'm afraid, sir, you haven't succeeded. I just point out Muslims have won 3
I've
Nobel
given
Prizes.
your 2 examples miserably failed.
Trinity College, Cambridge has won 32. Wonderful.
Sorry, we're having several conversations. He says, I haven't succeeded. The 2 examples that you brought, they've fallen short on your own foot. This is not a phrase that you know of, all right? It's a translation perhaps from another phrase. What I'm saying is, the examples that you provided, 2 examples, they don't justify your claim at all. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're incorrect about those things.
You
I
are
mean, you can
incorrect.
find others if you want, but
Choose whatever translation you like.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. English translation?
Yeah, English. Take the 4 English.
Yeah. Okay. Now, are you coming? Are you Are we all listening?
Are we ready? Don't really care.
If you don't care what you hear,
So why are you here then? Don't interfere. That's just ridiculous. Sorry guys, look, your lot's conversation was actually fruitful. You had your doubts, that's not a problem, and you can bring those and let's see if you can answer. This is just
arguments,
ridiculous.
brother, the arguments are all rooted in the language itself. And I'm going to show you from the language itself how the arguments are rooted. So it tells you...
Guys,
You have to go?
Thank you.
Another time?
Yes.
Guys, take care, man. Nice
If
meeting
you
you. Come
haven't read
again.
the Quran, perhaps that was a good introduction to read it, right?
Maybe curious.
Check it out, guys. Check it out. Take care. Take care.